Oh, he's going for a choke. Arm bar? Leg bar? Cats don't have arms. Oh, oh, oh. You be quiet, I'm watching the fight. We had to lock these two up just for a little bit while the cats ate their food. Are you ready to get out, Anna? All right. They don't get locked up all night just to protect the cat's food for a few minutes. Well, we finished harvest, and then we mostly finished tillage. We do have a little bit more I want to hit on some acres to chop the stalks up again with the Mandako, but we got, again, close to 2 more inches of rain, so we took a couple days off there, and then it was the weekend, and we did some hockey stuff with the kids, and now I got odd job stuff to do. Meanwhile, Dad already ran away to Arizona, so he kind of left me here on my own. But that's all right. We actually got a fair amount of stuff cleaned up and put in the shed. We all kind of went wide open for a couple of days before the rain hit, so we got quite a bit done. Nope, still stuck. You want to ride in this too? No. Don't yip now. The co-op wants their fertilizer trailer back. They didn't say that, and I didn't ask them, but I'm just assuming that's a pretty safe bet. I turned the wipers on just to get rid of a little bit of the frost. Now they don't turn off. The knob is off, but the wipers aren't. I mean, the knob is broke, but it should click off. We've run it with the pliers for a few years now, but it's not working. I'll try unplugging it and plugging it back in. The truck, that is. It's gonna work. Fixed. I should have been a mechanic. But instead, I'm a YouTube actor. We're looking at putting a field approach in on a field just 1 mile west of us on the township road there. Do I need permits, or how does that all work from your guys' end? The fields are definitely drying up a little bit, but the low areas are still really slimy. But it'd be nice in the next couple days here if we could to get out. We got probably 300 to 500 acres we want to hit with that Mandako to chop the stalks up in the fields that were really bad where the corn was down, and just beat those stalks up a little bit more so they're less of an issue in the springtime. That's that. Gotta hop in the pickup, turn right back around, head up the road here, take a look at where we want to put a field approach in on the 50 acres that Becky and I bought over the summer. It's got a field approach, but it comes out on the state highway in a really bad spot up on the hill. We would just like to put a wider one in on the township road and not have to deal with getting semis to pull out on the state highway, and it's just it's an unsafe spot. And no, it's not either of the spots where our trucks hit the ditch this year. Those totally different. So this is the field here. The existing approach is kind of up over the hill on the highway that runs down here. This is where I came in and out with the combine and I believe a tillage tractor. You can see it wouldn't take a whole lot just to level that off. It's almost there already. But I did call the township. They're gonna come out and take a look just to make sure everything looks okay and determine if we think we need a culvert in here, and then make sure I can do it. They're gonna talk about it at tonight's meeting, but it sounds like shouldn't be a problem. Come here. Jeez, all right, okay, all right. Next thing, I want to unhook Thunder here, but I don't want to keep too much def in it over winter. It already should be really low on diesel, which it is. So maybe we'll put some fuel stabilizer in it and shut the valve off here. But of course, before I can run that engine and run any fuel stabilizer through it, standard procedure. And yes, I see that the terminals are corroded and need a good cleaning. In the meantime, we're done with the field cultivator here, so I could just well unhook that and free up the big horse. We've had some problems with this door handle. We've adjusted it twice for fear of not being able to get into it. Oh, I busted something loose. Whoa! I could have died. You see, even with new stuff, it's always something. Usually something stupid. Now, Anna, don't let me forget. The door's open here. Don't shut that. I would appreciate that, okay? All right, thank you. It's just so quiet out here. It's just weird. We're 2 weeks ahead of schedule probably, and we got everything done, and I'm putting stuff away, and it's not that cold out. You don't hear the neighbors going. You don't hardly hear their bin fans running. I don't hear or see a tractor anywhere. It's just, it's weird for early November. Now normally I don't use this product to can't get my words here, Becky. Take two, action. Now normally I don't use this product when it comes to stabilizing the fuel. So I'm sorry, Derek, but this is what we had in the cupboard. So that's what I'm going to use. She's empty on fuel, so I'm going to let that engine work its way out of fuel. And I think this tractor's good on DEF, but since I'm here, I'm going to make sure it is. It didn't take much, but I do know which tractor should take a bunch more DEF than that one. This one did a little bit of strip tilling for a couple of days, so I know it's about half empty on DEF. It wasn't pulling real hard, so it didn't burn a whole lot, but we may as well fill it up in this because I do plan to put the Mandako on this machine. Still didn't go empty, so I suppose I may as well see if this tractor needs anything. No, it doesn't. Hey, side note, if anybody's interested in a, I think it's a 2009, maybe, somewhere in that vintage, 12-row, 20-inch corn header. Went through it, put some money into it, had the dealership go through some stuff. We didn't run it over a ton of acres, but we'd like to sell it. $27,000. Shoot me an email, link down below. Only if you're serious though, don't waste all of our time. By the way, speaking of used machinery prices, when I talk about that header, the people from Steffes Group, Steffes Auctions, they've got a new app called the Steffes Price Guide. You can go to it, you can look up any type of machinery that you're interested in. You can see the actual selling prices for the items there. So I can go in and look at headers just like that all through the different years and the different information on them, and I can see exactly what they've actually sold for. Get that information. You can narrow down that as an advanced search. I was looking at some Timty hopper bottom trailers the other day. You can look at whatever you want on there. It's pretty cool. Obviously, you can check with your local dealer. You can look online, look in magazines or whatever you want to, whatever you normally do to find machinery prices. But this is a completely free app. You just go to your app store or whatever kind of phone you got, your Play Store, Google Play Store if you're like me, and you rebel a little bit against the man, so you have a Samsung phone and your wife gets mad at you for not having an Apple product. You just go to whatever store it is and download the Steffes Price Guide app for free. Check it out. Looks like the boy might be practicing to knock down the next big deer. What yardage is that?
25.
25?
Yeah.
You got another buck you got your eyes on somewhere?
Yeah.
You gonna go out to the stand again, you think? Or are you gonna go to the spot down here where you cleared the shooting lanes?
Stand.
Stand? It's gonna be dark here in about an hour. And I've been avoiding this job now for several days. So I guess I'll just tough it out and get one of my least favorite jobs of the year done. It's not one of those things that's gonna take very long, so I'll get it done before dark here. It's one of those things I just don't enjoy. But once it's done, I guess it's done. What's up? It needs to be done. I need to get as much fertilizer off this thing as I can because that fertilizer is super corrosive. Well, I did it last night. I wrecked my longest running camera I've ever had on this channel. It was a good camera, and I hope that this new one has the same settings as the last one because that one seemed to do pretty good. But I was washing the strip tiller up and I thought I was gonna change angles and I reached for it with one of those big waterproof gloves on and it went down on the concrete. I guess there's really nothing I need to do in here right now. It's just my standard place to walk into. I've had a lot of people ask if this thing is actually for sale and if I've got anybody interested in buying it. I've had contact with a few people interested in buying it. I've cooled down since I used it last, and honestly, I don't know. You know, when I was making the video and I was frustrated with it, I swore I'd never put fertilizer in it again. I was done with it. It was absolutely going down the road. And at the moment, I kind of feel like it's one of those things where there's just so much going on that it's the learning curve is so steep that maybe I just need to punish myself for one more year, give it another chance. I don't know. Hi, Anna. Where you been? Hiding from the wind? A little breezy out here. You know, all this tech is a wonderful thing, except for when it's not. But if you pay attention to really what was giving me fits and what was causing problems for me, it was mostly the manual flow of the material that was really giving me the most problems. The tech side of things was working pretty well, really. Now, last year when I unhooked this thing, there was too much weight on the back of it. The tongue came up in the air, if you remember back to when I hooked this thing up. I've set the back of this machine down. I really hope it doesn't do that this time, but if it does, you guys can go along for the ride. Look at that. Nice. I am very pleasantly surprised about that. Last time, I had the whole machine raised up and I had the jacks down, but she rotated down and that tongue was like 3 feet in the air. Now, I just need to hook the Mandako up, but I'm pretty confident that takes a bigger pin, and I got some stuff I want to take out of the cabin here anyway, so back to the shop we go. Got to take out all the Nintendo controllers. I'll put them safely in a box labeled strip tiller. Sorry, ready guys. I'll try and never to carry the TP link or whatever this thing's called that way ever again. Back to tillage row. I came up with that all on my own just now. Are you guys impressed? there we go. Now we'll just go grab the control box out of the big articulating tractor to control our selector valve, then we'll be good to go. Guess what, boys and girls? This horse needs fuel. Oh, we need a power source. That's our anti-theft. You can't steal from it if there's no electricity. That's gonna take a while. We may as well go grab that control box. I've used a very complex mounting system here. I can't get my wire cutter in there. Now we'll just put the Nintendo controller in this tractor, and all I gotta do after that is set everything and push the up and down button. I don't have to worry about fertilizer flowing through or switching on hydrous tanks or mapping anything or making sure the trucks are keeping up or the grain sample's clean or the dryer's running. I'm just gonna sit in the tractor and turn the fields even blacker. There. I think for the couple fields we're gonna do, this mounting location will work just fine. That's depressing. The fields are a little bit greasy yet, but we've got some nice weather here for the next few days. It sounds like we got about 5 days of good weather. And then things turn on us again. It gets colder again. We're actually quite a bit warmer today than what we've been for the last 10 days, I think. But it gets colder again, a lot higher chance of some rain. So I'm gonna try and get about 400 acres tilled with this thing a second time. Looks plenty deep, which would make sense because it's already been tilled out here. Conditions actually look really nice right here, but I know it's awfully wet in the low areas. I'm gonna get out and check the depth because we don't need to go very deep. Oh yeah, that looks way more than deep enough. All I'm trying to do is to chop up this kind of stuff that's left from that down corn, which we typically don't have, or we hope we don't have. So on this piece and the other two pieces also that we're gonna work, we actually ran that Wishek disc, which did a really nice job of turning it over. But now that we've had some rain on it and probably 3 weeks for things to kind of rot away and decompose, I want to come through and just chop things up and level it out a little nicer, which this does a really good job of both of those things. 6 turns shallower, we'll try that. I think that's going to be pretty close. Well, that didn't last long, but I just got a phone call that up at the house, it sounds like we've got an unfortunate situation with a kitten, one of the baby kittens, and we got a couple little girls who are maybe a little shook up about it. So, sounds like something Dad might have to take care of, part of living on the farm. So maybe I'll just get back to you guys tomorrow. We'll see what's really going on. Yeah, I'm just not going to discuss that one. One of the unfortunate realities of farm life, I guess. One of those things. Never fun. Now you can't get up the steps, otherwise you'd be welcome to come ride with me. Totally kidding. I don't want your fur all over inside this cab. And look at the difference that's making. I'm glad to see there's some dust flying, but you can just see where we've gone there. It is just chewing up those longer, stringier stalks there and turning things black. Even if it isn't chopping them up that much, it's burying them, so they should be much more rotten in the spring. Which is what we need, because if we have those stringy stalks around in the spring, they're very tough to get through the tillage and get them to really feed right through our planter. You don't want that stringy stuff around in the spring anymore. And this RT tractor rides a million times smoother than that big articulate. I don't care what anybody says. Same brand, same size tractor, just 2-track versus the articulate. Of course, that's on tires. I think that's the deal. But there is no comparison. This is way smoother. Well, I'm gonna open the window so you guys can see better here. I was going along at a decent clip and I thought I was good here, but I got into some peat ground and I can back up. The problem is when I get here, I can't turn. The 2-track goes the direction it wants to. And this is where a 2-track is not nice once you actually get into the mud pit. But it was a smoother ride before I got here. Jackknives like that because I can't control the steering. Come on, baby. Wondered if I was going to have to call Jim and get a yankum rope out here. See if we can clean this out now. Just set it down a little bit, go backwards. This is kind of a peat ground here. There's just like there's no bottom to it. Once you fall in, you have fallen in. So, note to self, I'm going to stay out of this area now. Yeah, I don't think it would hurt, and if we were going to do one, that might be the one. It'd just be 3 years on corn, but it might not be all bad.
I don't think that hurts it. No. I don't think the 3rd year is any worse than the 2nd year. Actually, they used to say if you do it 3, 4, 5 years, it gets better than the 2nd year.
Yeah, and we know it hasn't grown us great soybeans, so we could just well try the corn.
Yep, I think that's what we did on March once we went 3 years of corn, and then all of a sudden we were growing really good soybeans there too.
Right. Ah, I can't get it loose. There we go. I might have a plan. I moved the iPad mount for the blockage system on the strip tiller from back here to up here. But why would I do that right now, you ask? Well, that answer's simple. Well, so I can watch Vice Grip Garage, of course.
Something going on.
I just got to figure out how to get the Bluetooth to connect to the iPad now. I'm having trouble doing that.
And remember, I've got
there we go. Got it all figured out.
Catch cans. Well, we're about 30 minutes in. Do you think we're making progress? Kind of a little bit slow going because there's like...
Came up a little short there. Just had a rough go. Was having to go to the back twice. Just way through the race.
Ran out of Vice Grip videos with Derek,
contact,
so I figured I'd catch up on some hunt the front.
Make sure that everything is...
Somebody's out doing some combining. Seems like the corn is about 90% harvested around here. Beans are 99. Well, I almost finished that 90 acres. I got 15 minutes left and then some end rows to level out, but Master Pipe Layer Jr. needs to borrow a shotgun from us so he can go deer hunting in the morning. So I'm gonna meet him up at the house here, get them a shotgun, and we'll catch you guys later. One last thing here, guys, just a reminder again, our apparel right now, if you want any for Christmas or before Christmas, get on that because there's gonna be shipping delays and issues with getting supplies. So if you're interested, go to farmfocus.com, or there's probably a link below, or go to mnmillennialfarmer.com. Those are the only places you can get it. You cannot get it from one of these rip-off sites that are not a farm-focused site. That's it. Okay, bye. Hey, Cat, no, Cat, you don't want to stay in here overnight?